radio, the soundtrack to your campus life. It's the top of the hour. The time right now is 9 o'clock. And guys, it has come to that time of the show where we do our, I'd say, daily feature right now, where we're going to be featuring one of the wonderful and magnificent societies that UCT has been to offer. Now, a lot of you guys know that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to have a Plaza Week this year. So instead, we opted for a whole virtual Plaza Week. And, we at UCT Radio decided to give a lot of the societies the opportunity to voice what their society offers here on the radio station. So today, with me, I have the leader and the chairperson, or the so-called Amir of the UCT Muslim Students Association, also known as the MSA. So today on the line with me, I have Mr. Ilyaas Amien. Ilyaas Amien, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thanks for having me, Hussein. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. Now, Ilyaas, I know quite a bit about you, but the listeners don't know about you. I mean, we went to school together. I mean, you were 3 years above me, if I'm not mistaken. So I know a little bit about you, and I know what you are. I mean, I know what you stand for and things like that. But just for the listeners, just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, and then go on to tell them about what the MSA is.
Yeah, so good morning to all the listeners. So my name is Ilyaas, and I'm a medical student at UCT. I'm also in my 5th year. In addition to that, I'm doing the intercalated programs. I'm also doing some research in addition to my medical degree.
Ooh, okay, that sounds quite interesting. Sounds extremely interesting. I know that the med students, they've been back at campus already, and I know today's the first day of campus. So, Ilyaas, how has campus been for you so far?
It's been interesting, but also challenging. It's nice to be on campus when you're seeing all your friends and you're sort of doing what you love doing, which is seeing patients, helping them, treating them, seeing them get better. But I guess one of the challenges of COVID is that you're not able to spend as much clinical time as you would like to because of the protocols being in place. So I'm very grateful to be back on the clinical platform. Many people aren't back. But there are challenges, but overall, I'm very grateful to be there.
That's awesome to hear, and I'm glad that you're also, enjoying what you are studying. I know what you said there. I know you have a great passion for, seeing to patients and, helping each other and helping to better the world. Now, Ilyaas, I didn't bring you on the airways to speak about yourself. I actually brought you on here to talk about the MSA. So tell me, or tell the listeners, I know a little bit about the MSA, but for those of the listeners who don't know, what is the MSA or what is the Muslim Students Association?
Yeah, so the MSA is essentially a body that navigates the various internal affairs of Muslims on campus. But it's actually much more than that. So, we have various portfolios, but essentially it's a space to invite people to Islam, really. And we believe very firmly at the MSA that it's not just Muslims that need to be called back to Islam, it's also non-Muslims. So we really try and cater for everyone. MSA is a space for everyone to experience Islam and to understand the religion in the most authentic way possible. One of the big challenges in the world that we live in is that there's so much misinformation about Islam. So to give people that authentic understanding, we've got sheikhs on our team, we've got people who've studied the religion. So really to give people, show the world, show the university what Islam actually is. And we try and do this through various portfolios. So we have education portfolios. So we do training workshops where we explain to people what Islam is. We discuss contemporary issues that Muslims are facing in the global community. We have an events portfolio. In fact, even yesterday we had a charity hike in aid of Al-Waha, which is a deaf organization for Muslims. And we actually, we managed to raise about 2,500 Rand for them just from the entrance fees. So hikes is really the only activity that one can be doing right now. It's outdoors. It's also a great way of maintaining fitness, but we're still trying to engage with the community. Many of these non-profit organizations cannot function based on their current circumstances. Many of their fundraising tools that they used to use to build and generate that income can't be used anymore because of the limitations imposed by the pandemic. So we're trying to assist in a way that we can. So that's education, we have events, we have outreach portfolios, we have current affairs, so tackling the current issues that Muslims are facing. We put out a statement a couple of days ago. The National MSA spoke about the current fee situation. So, MSA is dealing with contemporary issues as well. So we also have a postgraduate portfolio that's trying to integrate the postgraduates with the undergraduate Muslims on campus. So I really like to think of the MSA as an MSA of integration. So there's different layers of that integration. It's integrating, firstly, the Muslims on campus, but also integrating across different campuses. So one of the beautiful things about the hike yesterday is that it wasn't just UCT that was there. It was UWC, it was Stellenbosch, Tygerberg, CPUT, Pearson College. And so the idea is not just to connect the Muslims on the campus, but to connect them across Cape Town and to build that community. But of course, again, it's not just about Muslims, it's about non-Muslims as well. So to creating that space for people to really experience authentic Islam.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. And I really like the point that you highlighted, the whole interconnectedness here, that it's not just, restricted to UCT MSA and things like that. And also another point that you highlighted, was actually going to be one of my questions a little bit later, is that you're saying that the society, the Muslim Students Association, is not just restricted to people that follow the religion of Islam. Like you said, it's open to each and every single one. And I find that absolutely amazing, because we live in such a diverse country today, where a lot of people are so close-minded and they're closed off to a lot of things. Whereas I know you said there's one of the things that you want to teach people is the true Islam, and that's something that the media these days, I know myself because I am a practicing Muslim myself, that the media these days, they're often quick to twist and alter stories, especially when it comes to Muslims and people that follow the religion of Islam all over the world. They're quick to alter the stories to make it fit their narrative, or to make it fit like a bad, for lack of words, a bad narrative. So I'm really glad that you and the society are really welcoming to students from all different races, religions, backgrounds. And that's absolutely fantastic. So the next question that I have for you, now that we've established what the MSA is, I want to know, what are some of your plans for orientation? Or the orientation recently finished up right now, but just walk me through some of your plans for the year, or what were your plans for the orientation period?
Yeah, so again, we're very restricted with the things that we can do as a society, but it's really it's a blessing. As Muslims, one of the things that we try and do in life is that we see every good thing in life as a blessing, and every bad thing also as a blessing, because it's just an opportunity for us to find the better situation and to understand what is the wisdom behind this thing. So from an MSA perspective, the challenges that have been imposed by the pandemic has afforded us opportunities to improve our creativity. And that's the way I like to think of it. So it's challenged us to be creative and say, using the current lockdown regulations, how can we create events or situations or platforms that still abide by the regulations, but still achieve the same purpose that we're trying to have for the MSA. So, as I mentioned to you, we're having the MSA hikes. Those are actually going to be every 2 weeks. So, I always say to people that I don't believe that fitness is an event. I actually think that it's a lifestyle. And I make the argument because you can't become fit just from one hike, right? So it has to be a consistent thing. And it's about promoting healthy living. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm from the medical campus, but really, as an MSA, we want to create a society of healthy living, and it has to start with the university students. So because we have this connection across different campuses, UCT organized this hike, and then in 2 weeks, CPUT will organize the next hike, and then UWC, and then Tygerberg, and then Stellenbosch. So every 2 weeks, a different MSA organizes the hike, but everybody's invited. everybody is invited. So then it's only really much every 12 weeks that you're organizing that hike. So you're spreading the load, but you're achieving the same purpose in a socially distanced way. So if we just take it, across the different portfolios, from the event side, we have some plans. We haven't finalized them yet, but one of the things that we would really like to do is to do an open Galileo outside cinema where, socially distanced, we can watch a particular movie, especially bring the first year freshers onto campus in a way that is socially distanced. And maybe have a movie about an Islamic issue. It doesn't have to be an Islamic issue, but just to bring people together in a way that you're abiding by the various protocols. Another thing that we're doing is a mentorship program for first years, in addition to the existing mentorship programs, where we buddy up Muslim students with an older person in the Muslim society. And the idea there is just because there's so much value in having a mentor, because there are a lot of lessons that you can't gain from just reading your course manual and your handbook. There are just some things that only experience can really give you. So we're trying to have a mentorship program with the students to show them the tips and the challenges that you experience in the university space, and try and achieve that, what I call vertical integration between the different years on campus. So that's really what the MSA is trying to do. From the other portfolios, with the outreach portfolio, we are doing some Friday prayer drives, the Jumu'ah drives, where we're raising money for the Bilal Mosque in Khayelitsha. We have a historical relationship with that mosque, and we're trying to rekindle relations. So we're raising money by also taking in donations for old clothes. So again, for me, outreach is not an event. It's a way of life. So we have to try and build long-term sustainable relationships with these charities that we can pass down every year to future MSAs. So it's a very holistic approach, for the simple reason that Islam is holistic. So that's really what we're trying to do. From the education side, of course, as you know, Zoom has now become the buzzword for everything. So we're trying to have more online lectures. And some people, I guess it's not the same as face-to-face. But again, as I said, there are blessings. For example, we are having marriage workshops every Tuesday, but that means that because they're online, nationally, they are available to all the different MSAs. So it's actually hosted by the Union MSA, but everybody in Cape Town can watch it. Everybody in Joburg can watch it. So there's benefits to these things. So that's really what we're trying to do. It's about understanding that these are the circumstances, but what can we do to make the most of them?
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, you guys have so much planned throughout the year, even with the pandemic. I mean, I'm most certainly looking forward to one of those hikes. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it yesterday because I had to attend to an issue, but I will most certainly try and be there for the next hike in the next 2 weeks or so. You can most definitely count on that. And one thing that I really liked what you said was the way you sum things up by saying that we're taking a whole holistic approach, because Islam relates to Islam is holistic in a sense. So I really like the way you sum things up, because that really gives the listeners a sense of what the MSA is and what you can experience when you visit the MSA or when you encounter something. I know there was a lot. I remember in first year, one of the highlights for me was the whole Muslim week, when you guys had a tent up on Plaza where everybody could experience Islam and see what Islam has to offer. So that is most certainly, I mean, you guys really have things planned out this year, and best of luck for the rest of the year for you guys. Now, Ilyaas, I want to know also, I mean, since you guys have all of these plans already set out, how were some of your previous plans, affected by the pandemic? What did you guys have in store, or what did you guys have planned, but then due to the pandemic, I mean, last year, you can refer to last year and this year, what did the pandemic do to you guys, and how did you guys manage to overcome that?
So obviously, when the pandemic started, all physical events were put off the table. And one of the key features for any Muslim on campus is the Friday prayer, the Jumu'ah. And that, I would say, is an event on its own. And it's really just a space, for the listeners who will maybe not be Muslim, is a space where Muslims come together, they have a lecture, and they pray. And it's really just a space for people to connect with one another. What's fascinating for me, because I attend the Med campus Jumu'ahs, is that, you can have a first year next to you, and then on the other side you have a professor, then you have a painter, then you have an engineer. So you've got people from all facets of the university community, but they are united on the basis that they are Muslims. So you don't get this in your lectures. In your lectures you just have your first year, your second years, whereas in the Friday prayer you're building that sense of community, you're networking, you're learning from other people who've walked the same or similar path as yourself. That was stopped, unfortunately, but I'm very proud to say that, on Med campus, we were able to restore the Jumu'ah, the Friday prayer, last year in October because of the return of the clinical students, obviously in a socially distanced way. But upper campus has yet to resume. But we hope that next Friday we can actually resume the Friday prayers on upper campus this coming Friday. That was one challenge. Another challenge, obviously, is just the events. We have Islam Week every year, and as you mentioned, that was one of your highlights, right? So, but we were not able to do that last year. We had to have it online, and it's just not the same, unfortunately. But hopefully this year we can gravitate towards something that is similar to that. So really just the events that we've been able to plan. I mean, one of the key events in Ramadan, which is the month in which Muslims fast, is the iftar, which is when we break our fast together. I mean, this is just an amazing opportunity. We invite people from Res, non-Muslims from Res, to come and break their fast with us, understand what Islam is all about. It wouldn't happen last year because of the limitations of the pandemic. So there's been a lot of challenges, but as I mentioned to you, we are grateful. We are grateful that we are still here. We are able to do something to bring this community back together and to allow people to experience Islam in the most authentic and holistic way possible.
That's absolutely fantastic to hear. If you just tuned in, we are talking and interviewing the chairperson and Amir of the UCT MSA, Mr. Ilyaas Amien. So Ilyaas, before we wrap things up, we just want to know, how are some students able to get in contact with you? What are some of your social media details? How can students sign up for the MSA? Give us all those details, please.
Yeah, so we have quite a few different social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook. You just have to type in UCT MSA. You can find us on Instagram by typing the same thing. If you sign up for the MSA, you go onto PeopleSoft. I'm sure you know the whole process where you go to clubs and societies. Our particular code is ISS, or you can just search for UCT MSA. I'm also willing to give my number out there. Hopefully I won't get too many messages, but we would just like to make the MSA as open as possible, that anybody, literally anybody who wants to know more about Islam, to gain a better understanding of the religion, and to not feel shy doing it, and to not feel embarrassed doing it, because MSA is an open space. We want people to feel comfortable and to grow their spirituality, to grow their outlook on life. Because one of the big challenges, again, with the university space is that we are doing a secular education. And one of the challenges of that is that, we become doctors, we become scientists, we become engineers, lawyers, but we don't always ask the existential questions. Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? Where do I go after I die? These are all, we don't ask these questions, but they are so important. So my plea to the UCT community is that we need to ask these big questions and not be afraid to ask them, and to look at the different answers to these questions and try and find which approach makes most intuitive and rational sense to you. So my number is 083 86 333. It's a very easy number. I'll repeat that: 083 86 333. You're welcome to message me, and I will respond. And our email is uct@msa.org.za. And you can find us on our various social media platforms.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ilyaas. So just to reiterate everything what Ilyaas said there, please note, guys, that the MSA is open to each and every single person out there. You don't have to be a Muslim to join the MSA. You don't have to be a Muslim to want to experience what Islam has to offer and all of those things. And like Ilyaas said, it is an open space, and they will encourage you to come and learn what the religion has to offer. But anyways, thank you so much, Ilyaas, for your time. We really appreciate it. And I mean, I will most certainly be rejoining the MSA this year, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more people joining the MSA and finding out what Islam has to offer.
Definitely. And yeah, we look forward to be here, and thank you for having me on the show.
It's only a pleasure, Ilyaas, only a pleasure. Up next, guys, we have Dua Lipa.
Across the Cape and around the world. This is UCT Radio, the soundtrack.